fun game, Sydney. See, we ask you a question, and if you get it wrong, booga! You die.
Jesus Christ, why don't you shut up?
Sorry. I was just trying to be nice. At no point were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Stop looking at me, Swan!
We're live, ladies, gents, boys, girls, children of all ages. Welcome to a show about shows presents Movie Drafts, where we draft some things involving movies. I'm your host, JPO, Jordan Perso, and joined by a lovely colleague of people. Today we have an animation draft, Disney v. Pixar v. Dreamworks. Me, and then up next, Chris Diaz. How you doing?
Doing good. Animation, my second favorite category of film, besides musical. I love animation. I don't see any animation movie I can see it.
It's definitely in my top, I'd say 15 genres. Nicholas, how you doing?
You can think of 15 genres? Wow. And I'm doing all right. Really excited. This is my first draft, so let's do this.
And up next, the man that inspired this particular draft, Jacob Barber. How you doing?
I am doing well. Yeah, I was just kind of in an animated mood. We did rank them earlier. Top 12 1980s animated movies. Go check that out. So brought this idea to you, and you made it happen.
And Peter Rooney, last and certainly, and yes, I said certainly, not least. Hey, Aaron, how you been?
Good. Happy to be here. I don't talk very publicly about it, but I do love animation. It's not just for kids. I think you can certainly do a lot with it, and there's a lot of great films here. So let's see what happens.
A lot of good stuff on the board here. Some quick rules for anyone that is watching here. It's not going to be just someone picking 6 Pixars or 5 Disneys and 1 Pixar. We are going to each do 2 Disneys, 2 Pixars, 2 DreamWorks. We are definitely sticking to just animation. So Who Framed Roger Rabbit and I don't know what else I said. Will not be eligible. Mary Poppins, yeah. I love you, Dick Van Dyke, but you're not on this list here. As well as, not sticking to just the same franchise, going outside of the same franchise, but we can do it in any kind of order we want. I didn't draw first, but Chris took second. You'll see it in order, followed by Nick, followed by Jacob, followed by Aaron, and I will begin snake draft. So Aaron at the end will get 2 in a row. I'm going to start off with a Disney pick, actually. I just kind of went with my heart, and it's also, I think, a fantastic film. Lion King. I'm going to take up right up front here.
Already wrote it down in the spot.
Jacob was sure. Yeah, I think we battled over animation before here, so I think it's kind of a matter of who gets to it first. Yeah, man, I just think, again, very simply put, the heart's there, the villain's there, the heroes are there. The humor is great side characters. There's a reason they remade it and it was but this first one is kind of a masterpiece in my opinion. So, Chris, what is the first movie you're going to take?
To continue your trend, I'm going with one that was actually nominated for Best Picture. The first animation to do it is Beauty and the Beast. I rewatched it recently because on TV on the night. It's so beautiful. The animation great. Character Belle, Beast, Lumiere, Cosworth, everything memorable. R.I.P. Angela Lansbury, Miss Parking, her voice has again brought emotion to my eyes. And the music, be our guest, Gaston, Belle, are memorable. It's funny, it's entertaining, emotional. The ending, one of my favorite endings to the animation movie, with the transformation sequence. So yeah, Beauty and the Beast. I had to pick the class, my personal favorite.
Good pick indeed here. Up next, Nicholas, what you thinking?
I got to go with my gut here, and I think the best of the Disney animated films is Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's just such a good, really dark, intense movie that I can't believe they actually Disney allowed to be animated in the way that it was, and it's got such great music. Like, you just have Disney and opera, and it just works fantastically. The Hellfire sequence is one of the best that Disney has ever done, so I am choosing Hunchback of Notre Dame.
All righty, Hunchback's off of the list here. So far, Disney heavy. Jacob, continuing that train or moving on to something different?
Sort of, because I'm gonna go Pixar, and I'm gonna go with the best Fantastic Four movie that we have gotten so far. I'm gonna go with The Incredibles. This is my favorite picture. It's one of my favorite just animated movies in general. It's a good superhero movie. It's a good family movie. I think they balance that really well. The villain is really good, you know, and you actually believe his backstory. Like, yeah, you were kind of a jerk to me when I was a kid, and now I'm gonna try to defeat you. So I will take The Incredibles as my first Pixar pick.
No, sounds dope to me. Aaron, finish this up, or at least finish off round one, rather.
Sure. So I'm gonna take it a different direction. I'm gonna go with the first of my DreamWorks picks. I'm gonna take. It's a coin flip between the three, but I'm gonna take the first, How to Train Your Dragon. I think in terms of animation, this movie is one of the best 3D animated films ever. The flying sequences alone are worth seeing it. This is one of the few movies back in like that 3-year period between 2009 and 2012 that where like 3D was actually worth seeing, and they were developing movies in 3D. I still remember seeing this in theaters as a kid, and the animation on it is stellar. And I think that they also, in terms of, and you don't think about this often with animated films, but with screenplay, they took a book that was essentially written as a joke how-to guide, and they took the characters out of it and formulated a story that you can actually really connect to, and they built something that's almost better than what it's based on.
I love that whole trilogy, so I'm good with that, man. And you get that slippery snake. What do you got next?
Yeah, I'm glad I did that, because for me, there's always, since I've seen them, in one definitive best DreamWorks film and one definitive best Pixar film. So that's why I wanted this to 1-2. So I'm going to take Inside Out. I think, for me at least, it's far and away Pixar's best work. Say what you will, the emotional intelligence of the film, I think, is incredibly high. I think the fact that it is such a kid-friendly film with its designs and its characters and things like, you know, like Bing Bong is the perfect example of something that is perfect for kids. It's high energy. It keeps their entertainment. But it's also incredibly well written. There's a lot of thought that goes into it. And by the end, it's heartbreaking what they do with that character. So I think there's a lot of great Pixar work, obviously, but I think in terms of the emotional intelligence and thought that's put into the story, it's far and away one of the best, if not the best.
Alrighty, and Jacob, explain why A Song for the South is your next pick.
Oh Lord!
It's not fully animated, so it's.
Oh, my bad. Okay, it's not on the list.
So I mean,
I don't know. Remus is really animated in that film.
Am
I getting kicked off now?
I think I'm gonna double down on Pixar and just get both of them out of the way, and go with Toy Story. One of the
we did say before too, the Toy Story is gonna be Pixar, not a Disney pick for anyone watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the first Toy Story. This was one of the first movies I saw in theaters as a 5-year-old, and who didn't imagine, you know, their toys coming to life, and who didn't play with their toys like that when they were a child, and you know, who didn't like peek into your bedroom afterward, like, what are you guys doing? You guys doing anything on the bed?
I've held my ear to the door, like, come on, you sons of bitches.
Yeah, and you know, we had 3 really good sequels come from it, a decent spinoff, you know, a TV show, and so I love the franchise overall, but this first one kicked it off and did it so well. Not only you know, for the franchise, but for the studio. You know, do we have all these Pixar movies if Toy Story doesn't work as good as it does? So yeah, I'll double down and get Toy Story.
Good old double down. Nicholas, what you gonna double down with?
I'm gonna go a different route here. I'm gonna go right to DreamWorks animation. I gotta go with one of the first that they put out. So I'm going with The Road to El Dorado. As a animated film, I just think it's fantastic. The character dynamics and the back and forth comedy and the musical sequences are just gorgeous to look at. So it's it's like Disney but with a harder edge, which is what DreamWorks identity is. So I think you got to go with that one.
All righty, Chris, we're almost there. What you got for your second pick?
I think I'm with DreamWorks. Recent bite my ass, but it is one of my favorite animation movies the last couple of years. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Like, I think it's one of the most gorgeous movies I've seen the last couple of years of animation movie. I see the story is great. I see the humor is really good John Mulaney, Florence Pugh is great in it. Everybody brings so much to the role. And a movie about, but I don't often see it in Dreamworks, morality. The idea of, living, you may be on your last life, and I see what they did with Perth, and all the characters were unique, adult, and very mature. I think they one of the best things that came out of Dreamworks since the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. I think, and I can't wait to see where they go, and I can't wait for Shrek 5 now, because I can't really ever say that. You haven't seen yet, go on, but the last one to make your heart smile. Guillermo, love that actor. Probably one of my favorite dog characters in any of the animated movie.
No, I like that one. That's really very, very fun animation movie here. Yeah, we talked about it on I think Aaron's channel before actually. I'm gonna go for Toy Story 3 is what I'm gonna go for in my second pick here. Love the first Toy Story. I think it's one of those sequels that just kind of doubles in everything. The animation's better at this point here. They've really figured their stuff out here, and of course has to me the most climatic ending here that definitely has you with a tear in your eye on the edge of your seat here. And then even after that very intense ending, there's one of the sweetest endings. I think this I like the fourth one here, but if you almost want to say this is a trilogy, you can, because this I think kind of wraps it up in almost the most beautiful way that you can. And I like the fourth one though too. But the new characters are fun. The villains a lot so great here. Lotso. I really find myself going back to Toy Story 3 the most out of that entire franchise. And then I'll actually go one for one so far with all my with all the three studios here. I'm gonna go for the first Shrek. Again, just the iconic voices here, Shrek and Donkey. Even now, there's a reason why we might not have loved that third and fourth one, but at the end of The Last Puss in Boots, you're kind of excited maybe for another run at Shrek because you fell in love with them from these first two movies here. So those are the next I'm going to go with Lion King, Toy Story 3, and Shrek are off the board. Chris, what is the third one you're going to take?
All right, I'm going to go with Pixar. I am going to go with one that a personal favorite of mine and make me cry most time. You know what? I didn't say that for the second time. I did go with Finding Nemo for my first pick. Finding Nemo is a beautiful movie about father and son. I think it is funny, it's free. Ellen DeGeneres, hysterical joy. I think the humor really works. I think the underlying thing about father figure letting his son be on his own is something I can relate to. I had that type of relationship with my dad. It's something that touched my soul a lot. I think the animation is beautiful, breathtaking at times. It's held up well all of the year. Had to go for Finding Nemo.
All right, always a good picker. I'm sure that was. I know I was thinking about it. Nicholas, what you thinking about for your third?
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Pixar, but I'm going to go with a different one, one that I actually really enjoy a lot, which is Monsters, Inc. It's just a buddy cop movie with monsters, and it's just a lot of fun. Get a great cast in there with John Goodman and Steve Buscemi, and yeah, so no, it's a good time, and I think that it's one of the rare movies, especially in the more compared to the more modern era of animation, where they do the twist villain right. So, Monsters Inc.
Sounds good here, man. Another one very well beloved and for a reason. Jacob, your third.
Yeah, I'll jump to Disney and I'll go with Aladdin. I think of the Renaissance, this is my third favorite. The first two were taken 1 and 2, and I'm not surprised at that. But yeah, no, I mean when you think about Aladdin, you obviously think about the genie and the incredible voice work by Robin Williams. It's the music is good, the villain is good. It's just a really good movie, and it's one that I watched a lot growing up. One that I can still put on and get some enjoyment out of today.
It's a good pick. Maybe it'd mess up some people's next pick, like the host. Aaron, what are you thinking for your third?
I was literally about to say I had a whole thing about how the hell did Aladdin fall this far, and then Jacob had to fucking go.
Yeah, I figured I wouldn't see it. Yeah.
All right, let me
pivot.
So
pivot.
I'm gonna go with Tangled. I feel like the 2010s doesn't have a fancy name yet like the Renaissance does, but I feel like following the 2000s where Disney was certainly in a dip again comparatively with their animation. And I know that in our age range, everyone has their favorites, of course, but overall reception was down, box office was down. Disney wasn't a dip again during the 2000s. Tangled was not only the official full 3D is here to stay for Disney, and it can be excellent, but it also brought back in full style the musical. It made it accessible for people to go and watch. I mean, even the year before, The Princess and the Frog unfortunately couldn't succeed. But Tangled was a huge success. It's really, really well done. The voice acting from Mandy Moore and Zach Levi, and I hate that I cannot remember the woman who voices Mother Gothel. Thank you. It's incredible all around.
I like it. Keep the momentum going, Aaron.
Okay. I don't think this pick is going to get taken. Well, I don't say that for sure. I'm going to go to my second DreamWorks pick, and I'm going to go to again, they're not known for their 2D work, but I do think they have one of the best 2D films of all time. I'm going to take The Prince of Egypt. I feel like this movie, first off, is just beautiful. In terms of just sheer animation, it's beautiful to look at. And sorry, the comments keep throwing me off. It's beautiful to look at. It's incredibly well voice acted. At the start of that era of like celebrities are going to be the entirety of the cast, but I feel like this movie puts its celebrities to good use. I feel like this movie, not to take a shot at somebody else's pick, almost does the Hunchback thing better with Steve Martin and Martin Short, I believe it is, where it's like this period movie, but there's like also this comedic relief thing on the side. I feel like it handles it better. And also the fact that it's also a story about religion, like very innately about religion, done by a major studio, and it's respectful to religion, to the point where the first time I ever saw the film was in a religious education class that I had to go to as a child. So that speaks.
And you were like, Jesus Christ, that's a good movie.
Oh, let's see.
The only thing I think it wasn't accurate is I don't believe they broke into song like that. I wasn't there.
Hey, Jacob, were you there?
I like to believe they did because it makes fiction hella more interesting if they were breaking out in the song.
Ron's coming down. They're just sitting there.
My bad. I'll shut up again.
Wait, you don't want them to break out and always look on the bright side of life?
All right. Order of the courtroom. Jacob, what you got?
Oh, I don't know. I should have been thinking.
All right, moving on. Nicholas, what you got?
Okay. I'll go. I will jump to DreamWorks. If I can't have Shrek, I will have what I think is the best in the franchise, and Shrek 2. That first one is good, but I think the second one, I think we, after we get more Shrek and Fiona, more Donkey, I think it's just a good sequel, fun time, and I actually wanted the first one, so now I have to think of bad things to say about that one to make this pick look better.
You don't have to. You just say we both have good picks.
You do have the better pick. I can help you if you want.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Aaron, and muted. Nicholas, what you got for next pick?
So for my next pick, as Aaron so rudely took my next Disney pick, and then insulted my Hunchback pick, I gotta go with my second, my backup for Disney. So I'm gonna go with Wreck-It Ralph. It's one of those movies that I had waited until the video release before I actually saw it, and then I got mad at myself because I waited that long. So it's just a great movie about self-worth and what you're willing to sacrifice for your dreams and all this and that and the other. And I just think it's really good. And it's also the first time that I started recognizing Alan Tudyk as a really good voice actor, because he just does Roger Rabbit voice for King Candy, and it's amazing. So you got to go Wreck-It Ralph.
All right, let's wreck it with Chris's next pick.
So I think you finish off my DreamWorks. I think my Disney hits off the last year. I think you go with probably my favorite sequel that not Shrek or related. It is How to Train Your Dragon 2. I think this is by far one of the most breathtaking of the How to Train Your Dragon movie. I think animation wise beautiful, but I think also a film that go dark when it need to. The whole his father gets killed fight truthfully, I think he really does take to go. And I think the idea that truthfully, you can't blame truthfully because he is what he is. And I think what the mom say does hit home. I think the thing with Rob Butler, Kate Blanchett scene, the ratings on one of the most beautiful moments in any Dreamworks animation film. And the reunion brings here. I think the human work. I think the character great. Kate Harrington really good. Kate Blanchett is excellent in the mom. I think the villain good. I think it does. That trilogy itself is one of the best trilogies to be argued out there. It does one great movie after another. That's my personal favorite out of thing. But I loved How to Train Your Dragon too.
I agree. It's such a good trilogy that I'm legitimately picking How to Train Your Dragon in the Hidden World. And I do mean that. Like, not just picking it because it's the only thing left. It's hard to argue, in my opinion, what is the best of this trilogy, because I think it is, outside of even animation, one of the tightest trilogies we've seen, because there is not a bad batch in the bunch here. It's, again, like I've said before, it's got the characters, it's got the humor, it's got the heart. It's willing to take risks, like, the main character getting injured is not something you see a lot. Characters dying is not something you see a lot. And I love how they wrapped it up. I'm a big believer in how you end things. And they ended this thing on such a beautiful note to where, yeah, like I said, this is legitimately, in my opinion, one of the tightest trilogies we've seen, because all three of them really deliver from the first to the second to the third. And then finally, my fifth pick here, just going to go with one that I really enjoy. I think it's one of the funniest ones. And also, I'm not going to lie, I don't mind an animated movie that doesn't feel the need to sing. I'm going to go with Emperor's New Groove. I'm going to take that off the board here, man. Fell in love with it pretty instantly, man. I'm an SNL kid, so even then I'd love to meet some David Spade, and of course Patrick Warburton, who has continued to be a great voice actor, and even just actor in general here. So again, it's a good one that is still rewatchable still to this day. Emperor's New Groove, as we now come back to Chris for number 5.
Yeah, they're saying my piss off for last time, but I'm going to go with Disney. Continue the trend of 2000 Disney animated. Lilo and Stitch. This is a film that hit me in a way that I expected to. I think the sister storyline really hit hard, especially, Nani taking care of Lilo and, trying to make ends meet all the time. What happened to their parents and, the whole child service coming in. But it also has a great sci-fi story to it. I think Stitch is one of the more best Disney character there is. I think he's very funny. I think Priestley is funny. I think Jumbo is really funny. The whole battle at Lilo House is one of the most funniest moments in the film, especially the blaster back and forth, happy birthday, happy Christmas, and all of this. But it's a sweet movie, and it's been off a really good series of stuff I like. I like the TV show. I do like some of the direct-to-video stuff, but this is a film that I can relate to as a family member, and it's just, yeah, I had to go Lilo and Stitch. One I saw in theater before I left for Florida to come to Connecticut. It's just it for me for this thing.
All right, sounds good. Nicholas, what you got for your fifth?
This just in: Disney is going to release a Lilo and Stitch live action series. I don't know if that's true. That's a total lie. I made that up.
Sooner or later, it's going to happen. So it's going to be true someday.
I'm gonna pivot back to DreamWorks for my next pick, and I think that what everybody else has just demonstrated is that DreamWorks, more than any other studio or any of these studios, is really, really good at making sequels. And for that reason, I'm going to go with Kung Fu Panda 2, baby. I just think that in terms of taking what the first film did and with the dynamic action sequences and the really great comedy and ramping that up with a really intense story and a much better villain in Gary Oldman, it's just an all-around better experience. And I think that is where the Kung Fu Panda franchise peaks, is with the second film.
All right, and also I think kind of low-key a decent trilogy as well. I don't mind the third one. Jacob, what you got for your number 5?
I'm going to disagree with that because I'm taking the first Kung Fu Panda. I think they kicked the series off in a great way. Jack Black. I mean, I can't think of anyone else being the voice of Po other than Jack Black. I mean, he just does it.
Listen to that first cartoon series. It sounds a lot like him. I thought it was him.
mean, if you can get some good impressions, then go for it. But I mean, if you can get Jack Black, you get Jack Black. I think that's just anyone would. But no, I think this kicks off. Yeah, another really good trilogy. I think we've got a lot of good trilogies represented here, and yeah, the voice cast is great. The action scenes are good. There's a lot of good humor in it, and so yeah, I think Kung Fu Panda 2 is like they're neck and neck for me. I think they're great, but
Kung Fu Panda 2 has more Jackie Chan though, so.
Kung Fu Panda 2
if
had
it
Gary
was a
Oldman.
live action Jackie Chan, I would give
Introduces Jean-Claude Van Damme.
And Gary Oldman as probably the best dream animation villain too. Oh, wow.
Alrighty, Aaron, why are you choosing the last Kung Fu Panda? Go for it.
He can't.
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
I'm
You couldn't
good. I
intervene.
couldn't, but I'm good either way. So to follow up the joke from before, Lilo and Stitch is getting a live action remake. The director Marcel Duchel's in charge of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That said, that whole thing I joked about the last round about how I was going to do how did Aladdin fall this far? How did this pick fall this far? I'm taking The Little Mermaid. Again, the same thing as I said with Tangled. There's a lot of credit that has to go to The Little Mermaid for being the thing that kicked off the Disney Renaissance. The thing that gave us, we say a decade's worth of brilliant animation, but it's like 5-6 films and then the rest are just okay. But The Little Mermaid is an excellent film. I think that this is one of the best portrayals in media of the concept of naivete, like just being truly naive and like not understanding what you're getting yourself into. I think Ursula is one of the best and probably most iconic Disney villains of all time. I think the music in this is some of the best in any Disney animated film. And I just think overall it's a movie that is good enough quality-wise with a story and a message that you can connect to, that you can still show it to kids today, and I think that it hits, whereas I don't think necessarily all of the great films from that era would, whether it be because the message isn't relevant anymore in some ways or just simply the quality of the film doesn't hold.
So far, all really good picks. We are in our final round. So obviously, everyone make sure you pick the right studio. Aaron, what is your final pick here tonight?
All right. Well, since I only have Pixar left, and this is my last turn speaking, I have just one thing to say. Remember me. I'm going with Coco. I think that Coco is, again, most of people will look at most of Pixar's best films and they'll go with all the early stuff. I think Coco, following up on Inside Out, was the movie that sort of put them back on the right track in those late 2010s. Again, the music in this is absolutely incredible. I think it's a really, really great musical. Jacob, shut up. You were just shitting on me before we got in here. That's why that's the worst.
You're a bad person, Jacob.
No, I think Coco's a brilliant film. I think the relationship between I forget the kid's name now, but the kid and Ernesto, I think is
Miguel.
Or maybe I'm confusing that too. But anyways, the relationship between the two characters and how it grows over the course of the film, and the more that you learn about each of these characters and their sort of position within the family, I think is actually really, really sweetly done. Again, I think the music really, really works. And I think that the moment at the end of the film when he's playing the song on the guitar for the grandma, hey, at least I picked it. It could have gone unpicked. You never know. Diaz's reaction tells me no, but it could have gone unpicked. The reaction and like the whole scene, the way it's set up when he plays the song on the guitar for the grandma is probably it from a studio that is known for fucking with your emotions. It's probably one of the most emotional things they've ever done.
If this shows you how many good films there was on the slate, because that's a banger sixth pick here. And I was literally about to say somewhere Henry Sanchez is mad at all of us, but he just came in the chat and proved that. Jacob, let's see if we can end on a high note too. What? I don't have words anymore. Jacob, your last pick.
Yeah, I need Disney, and I'm going to throw this out there. Feel free to veto it if you guys want. Can I have a Goofy movie?
Why couldn't you? Why can't he?
Yeah, I'd be okay with it.
What's the argument? I'm not even sure what the argument is.
It's not under the same Disney studio as Snow White and
I think it's technically made by their like direct to DVD
Disney
studio, but it went to theaters.
Disney too.
Yeah, so it's like not a Walt Disney
and
studio.
The one running it doesn't fine because
that's not.
It's fine.
Anyone here really wanted to put up a fight like that? Come on.
Good pick, though.
I love this movie. I watched it a lot as a kid. Siding with Goofy, like, come on, just let him be with his friends. He doesn't want to be with you. And now as an adult, even though I don't have kids, it's like, come on, just be with your dad. Just give him this one summer. You'll have plenty of time with your friends. And so, like, I think the fact that it can hit different for kids and adults, I think is really good. And like one of the best soundtracks in all of movies. I think that power line, he can sing.
Really great stuff.
I mean, you don't have kids that you know of, Papa.
Shut up, son.
Okay, Nicholas, and then your list here.
Oh God, you know what? It's funny. I keep going back and forth in my head as to what I want to choose for my last Pixar pick. I think I gotta go with Soul. Unfortunately, it's such a great exploration into what really is life about. Is it about chasing something, or is it just about an experience? And I just think, as a message and as it's been animated, it's just beautiful. that last sequence at the end just brings me to tears every time. So Soul, taken.
I'm gonna say Son-in-Law is his best movie. Chris, what do you got for your final pick?
All right, Aaron and Nick picked my other two choice for Pixar, but I'm going to go with the one at the point and not been brought up yet. To quote Aaron, fall this fall. Probably the best Toy Story movie is Toy Story 2. Like when you talk about introducing you to Jessie and Bullseye, when she loved me sequence, it's arguably up there right for the most emotionally moment in any Pixar movie that hit hard. And then you get introduced right there, you get a little bit Buzz Baxter, a little bit like there's so much into this film. I think it does the message of the worry about Andy doing outgrow Woody and all of it a little bit much harder. It is because Woody and Light, I think they thing, Andy did grow up and he did not use it anymore. He'd become a collected toy piece, introduce Al. And then the crossing the street stuff, and the Star Wars reference, this is pretty up there for probably one of my favorite Pixar sequels. I mean, and I surprised nobody picked it yet, so I had to go with Toy Story 2.
The best Toy Story movie is A Buzz Lightyear: Star Command, by the way.
Alrighty, Jacob, I have to pick Pixar, right?
Yes.
And it's fine by me because I'm going to find my final pick here is the movie that has and for my outro, the greatest intro of all time, Up. And it's still a movie that I would still argue, including on movie debate sometimes, that is still one of the best movies, though. Because, yes, the first 10 minutes are an 11 out of 10. The rest of the movie is still a 9 out of 10. Doug's a fantastic character here. You absolutely fall in love with these two. Again, I just think it's a really beautiful movie here that holds up. And if you don't shed a tear, you don't have a gosh darn soul. So we'll go over the list. We'll go over the list one more time real quick here. JPO, which is myself, went with Lion King, Toy Story 3, Shrek, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, Emperor's New Groove, and Up. Chris Diaz chose Beauty and the Beast, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, Finding Nemo, How to Train Your Dragon 2, Lilo and Stitch, and Toy Story 2. Nicholas chose Hunchback of Notre Dame, Road to El Dorado, Monsters, Inc., Wreck-It Ralph, Kung Fu Panda 2, and Soul. Jacob, the Barber BK, chose The Incredibles, Toy Story, Aladdin. I almost said Toy Story 3 because I see the 3. Toy Story, Aladdin.
The Incredibles 2 and Toy Story 3.
I know, it's throwing me off. Shrek 2,
Aladdin
Kung Fu Panda, and a Goofy movie. Yeah, that's a not often seen fourth movie.
That's a live action one?
Aaron with the shortest list as far as words wise. How to Train Your Dragon 2, Inside Out, Tangled, Prince of Egypt, and Little Mermaid and Coco. I truly think these are all really good lists here. No one really picked a bad movie here. Definitely could be argued. In the comments, you're already kind of sounding off. Chris thinks Jacob. Brian's also going to agree with Jacob. So in the comments, let us know. We'll do a poll later too for anyone else who wants to chat. Let us know if there's something that we overlooked, and I'll even ask the panel here as we kind of say our goodbyes. Don't do a full list, but if you got like 1 or 2 honorable mentions per category, definitely throw it out there. Something that maybe you're surprised wasn't picked. And your plugs, parting words, usual things. Chris.
I went back and forth between Toy Story 2 and Ratatouille a little bit because Ratatouille is also one of my personal favorite Pixar movie. On DreamWorks, like we picked all of the good ones that I could think of. Like, yeah, we picked all the best ones, honestly. And then Pixar, I mean Disney, yeah, there's one I could have gone with. I could have gone with Milan. I could have gone with few of them, but I'll pretend to fall around the rated one. But yeah, happy with my list. They were like, these are my personal favorites. Like, these are stuff that fit with me. And the other my 2 other favorite Pixar movies, The Little Man, Death Soul, and Coco were picked, but that would be my last pick, but still, great list.
Same with you, Nicholas. Any kind of honorable mentions? Did anyone maybe snipe something that you really wanted? And plugs and parting words.
I mean, we've already mentioned Tangled, which was my second Disney pick that was taken. Another ones I had in my mind were Onward, of course. I just really, on a personal level, connected to that movie a lot more than even Coco, which is very surprising for me. And as far as regular Disney went, I went back and forth with trying to decide if I should go with. Oh, now I can't even think of it. It doesn't matter. It's fine. That's all I got.
Alrighty, Jacob, the same things I just said to those two.
Okay, yeah. Some for Disney I was considering were.
I was waiting for
some for Disney I was considering were Moana and Zootopia.
Moana. Yeah.
Pixar. I was. If I didn't get The Incredibles and Toy Story, I would have taken WALL-E. I really enjoyed that one. And then for DreamWorks, I was also considering Megamind. I think Megamind is an underrated one.
No, it is. Damn, why didn't I choose that one? That's fine.
Hey, Aaron, what about you, my friend?
Really, it was for Disney because there's like far and beyond the most. So it was the one where there's the most options you can go with. For me, I wrote a bunch down as potential options depending on what was taken, simply just based off iconography. So like Snow White being the first, Frozen being one of the highest, I believe the highest grossing animated film of all time still, unless you count the Lion King remake. I don't know where we draw the line on that or if one made more money than the other.
Talk still. About that.
Disney wants to. Bambi, because Bambi's mom getting murdered is something that still affects children to this day. So it's worth talking about.
Spoilers.
And of course the underrated classic Cinderella 3, because why the fuck were there 3 of those?
Right. Yeah. And actually, Frozen 2 would be the highest grossing.
And Frozen 2 beat it.
Frozen 2, yeah. I mean, yeah, unless if you don't count 2019's Lion King, which it's not.
I mean, Aaron wanted to comment today for Cinderella 3. Thank you.
Well, which one of them won Best Picture?
No, yeah, everyone's kind of said most things that were kind of left on the list here. The next 2 I would have picked Pinocchio and Jungle Book. They're also really good classics that are easily good picks. Ratatouille and Luca would have been maybe the next 2 I had thought of. I really like those. And then DreamWorks has several that I think are just like in the really fun category of like Penguins of Madagascar. I love that movie. I'll go for that. Or Megamind was also definitely on the mind.
B-movie, if you're weird.
Honestly, like B-movie Captain Underpants, like, hell yeah. You know what I mean? Like, So there's and like I said, it shows you how many good movies there was. That the fact that things like Coco, Soul, Toy Story 2, upwards, around 6 picks. So yes, thanks for everyone here on the panel, Chris, Nicholas, Jacob, Ron. Thanks for everyone in the chat. Let's see. Brian was throwing out No One Took Hercules, another fun one there here. And yes, our movies that made children grow up to be furries draft. It's probably next week. If you have a draft idea, that's maybe not that. Feel free to throw that out there to me. We'll do this, kind of whenever they kind of pop up and become organic here. So yeah, like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell an enemy, and we'll love you more than you'll ever know.